We'll see if any of those changes make it their way into game number 2. I want to see Janus banned. Maybe pick first.
Yes, they're probably going to pick it first. Because Guan Yu on Ducky, yes, it's good. He did a decent job in terms of not feeding Variety's Achilles, but it didn't carry the game the way you normally think a first pick god will.
Sure. And, you know, it is interesting in that I do think that first pick Guan Yu is a world that we live in. I think that that is acceptable. And I don't think that that necessarily means that Guan Yu has to carry the game. Guan Yu can still be a facilitator and still warrant a first pick. I just think this was an example of Dignitas saying, fall into the meta trap, because we already know how to beat the Guan Yu.
It's the all-in potential. It's not just the Janus, but also QvoFred's Batz that really found the potential collapse onto Lawbster. Discordia doesn't have that far of a range escape. I would have liked to see maybe Lawbster play the Agni if he wasn't having the defensive peels in that first game.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. Fear No Evil just way too strong and really able to at being able to control some of these characters that like the extended fights. Sarkett and Guan Yu banned out this time around. No Odin ban, the Quan ban. Dignitas, on the other hand, going to look for the Athena and the Artemis. A lot of options on the table. I think that SK Gaming have to be wary of the Hebo jungle. I maintain that Hebo jungle is good in a vacuum. But with that said, Dignitas are the pro league team that plays that Hebo jungle often. So you've got to be aware of that. Janus. First pick for SK.
It was Janus.
It's Laurel.
Stop.
Sobek, the first pick for Team Dignitas. And the Fear No Evil follow-up. I love this pick. And it's funny because I think there's nothing about Batz that is meta-friendly right now. I don't think he's an all-in character. I don't think he's a burst character, which is traditionally how you fight the healers. Batz, Fear No Evil, I say this a lot, will always be relevant.
It definitely feels like a burst character the way Dignitas were playing it, because they were in and out of all of these team fights.
What winds up happening is Batz turns your team into a burst team because everybody's feared, and you're just able to do it.
It's very easy to find those picks and make the shorter team fight lasts, the less effective the Guan Yu first pick becomes. SK, we're hoping that the team fights will last a little bit longer, but not the play style of Dignitas, just not allowing that to ever happen.
Anhur, we do get to see the king of the jungle, king of the long lane. We do get to see Arkkyl play his Anhur, which is going to be a lot of fun there. Achilles and Cerberus, though, were selected by SK before the second round of bans came out. Dignitas focusing on the Hunter role, and SK Gaming banning away the own Discordia. Don't want to see Lawbster picking that character at all. 1-5 and a handful of assists, just not enough. Here in game 2, as they look for the win, won't be going in that direction for their middle lane.
It's also about the passive. With Arkkyl playing the Anhur, you have to worry about the Discordia passive. Sure. It's 5 at base and then 2 per level, so immediately, if there's any sort of a boxing exchanges, all of a sudden Anhur's hitting you for 7 extra damage.
Yeah, which sounds small.
It adds up.
It sounds small, but it absolutely adds up. Thoth guy banned out, leaves Zyrhoes to select the Raijin or the middle lane. Very standard composition from Dignitas so far. So make a little ambiguous. Not sure who's going to play that one, but across the way for SK. How do you say his god's name?
It's Ho-Yi.
Oh, it's Ho-Yi.
Yeah,
Ho-Yi, the hunter of choice for SK Gaming. They've got one more god left, and it's the Terra.
This is where we are at in the meta, where Terra is immediately after secondary ban phase, almost last pick if they really wanted to, because Xing Chen is a selection for Dignitas, and with how much control, healing as well, SK Gaming should be able to find these collapses because now they're the ones with the Janus.
Yeah. SK Gaming trying to go for a game 3. I would absolutely love to see it. I love to see these underdogs supersede and do well. SK Gaming have the global transition from Janus, but altogether, this is a mid to late game team. Dignitas on the other side. Raijin does bring the late game prowess, but Anhur and Batz are certainly more positioned for that middle game. I think we're looking at another 25-minute victory for whomever takes home the trophy. Totally one word, who wins?
I think Dignitas.
I think Dignitas. Still got you at 3, baby. We got 2 casters, and they're both great. Let's go to game 2.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Totally. Finch here. I've got Aggro Ryan Bailey joining me here. You doing all right, Ryan?
Little wet here, aren't I? Look, chat, I'm going to lay it out right now. Right before the set started, I was like, is it going to rain? I Googled it on my phone. That's not true. I went on my weather app. It told me it wasn't going to rain. About halfway through that set, it is just a torrential downpour.
Literal sideways
outside.
rain.
And yeah, my moonroof was definitely not closed. We'll put it that way. Yes. So I had to run out and fix it in between sets, and it couldn't dry off in between, so I'm sorry.
We're still going to bring you the best cast we can. Hopefully Ryan will be there with me. I know some of you might be out there with that car, at least in your head, but we got to take a look here at what SK and Dignitas are going to be doing to get Game 2 ready. And who do you think's going to win this game? Go ahead and vote for us in the Mixer poll and let us know. They still get the Unbots, but not the Achilles this time. They took that one away from Variety.
And I like the idea from SK's composition. Take what was working against them. I really feel like it was that Janus for Zyrhoes that shut down a lot of what they wanted to do and try and take it for themselves. It's just SK was doing very well sticking to their style, and I'm a little bit worried that this isn't exactly their style, but if they can work it out, if they can get that same sort of lead that they had in Game 1, this team composition transitions very well into the late game, and Team Dignitas' does as well, but I still feel like SK has a little bit more potential just because of Terra ultimate, but it's really dependent on HalfDevil and him getting Big Earth and Furies. Otherwise, Dignitas' control in these late game comps is just going to be too much.
It's always good when Funballer's feeling it. Saw the ricochet land on Arkkyl, so he was able to find the shots. A big part of what the problem was from last time was some of that range damage, though. I mean, through space and time, Arkkyl being able to go up and do the...
Did you just say rain?
Ranged? I get the sadness, though. That was genuine frustration that I just saw in Ryan's eyes like I've never seen before. But
I'm sorry.
No,
I'll refocus.
It's hard.
I'm in a dark place right now.
No, I get that. It's definitely a wet place.
Cold and damp is the place I'm in. It's not good.
Dual lane for Funballer and HalfDevil. Still don't quite have the clear advantage this time, as Arkkyl actually finds the Impale. HalfDevil going to pay half the life total, but not losing the purple buff this time. Already, though, looks like Lawbster is going to secure their red, so the only jungle at stake for them is going to be this purple buff if Arkkyl and Trix are able to get in there and take it.
But SK's jungle camp secure is actually very, very strong, as Arkkyl actually used the purification beads after that little stun from HalfDevil. Because you can set up the Terra walls and just let Hui walk in between and guarantee the triple bounce very, very easily. It clears very, very quickly. But you need to be set up on the camp for that to happen. You can't be coming late like is what they're doing right now.
HalfDevil's coming in because they've got Faeles in support on the Achilles. That's the jump down as well. If they can catch up to him, it should be an easy enough target. Or just target switch over to Trixtank,
nice
whose pluck is now down. Has the sprint available, and Team Dignitas are out. I don't even know if they got hit in that gank attempt. They're fine.
So well played there by Dig. And now they're going to go back to the purple buff because Faeles is trying to finish it by himself, but Quvo's made the rotation himself.
QvoFred wants to try and help secure the buff. They're going to change tactics and look for the kill. HalfDevil sets up the wall, can't find the stun. He does deter them from doing the buff for a moment, leaving Funballer alone with the wave. They're going to miss out on farm for this.
And now Lawbster is turned to come on over. All over a young little purple buff. Quvo takes a lot of damage. Funball's been putting it in thus far in the damage department. Still, purple buff stays standing.
Faeles now is the one that's going to go take a look at it, as we got a whole full-on party over here in the dual lane. Looks like the purple buff will remain, but I think they did a good enough job to pull HalfDevil away from the wave for a little while. Have them miss just a few creeps. They're going to come back and get their own purple, even without stealing that buff away.
Quvo actually dings level 3 because he split that dual lane wave, whereas Faeles did not, even though he ultimately should end up being able to secure that purple. Don't know if he even dropped it, though. Looks like it's still standing on the minimap for the moment.
He is at least going to go down and grab their own speed. HalfDevil looked like he was in prime position to get plucked there by Trixtank, but dropped the wall, so he did not fall. Funballer has to use beads after he gets plucked. It looks like that purple buff did end up dropping after all.
Yeah, don't necessarily love that beads from Funball. How much danger is he really in that spot? I mean, he's still full HP, he's still got health potions. I don't know that Funball necessarily needs to use it. And we saw, he got punished for it, or excuse me, it was Arkkyl who got punished for using his purification beads in lane pre-level 5 in game number 1 because failed with a well-timed ultimate. All it takes is one QvoFred rotation and a Fear No Evil, and Funball isn't living anymore, and that could be a first blood opportunity now for Dignitas.
They're going to recognize those beads are going to be down for a while. Funballer, I believe, did have the dive bomb as well, so even if he gets plucked, maybe immediately go into the jump and get away.
Right.
But either way, he felt as if he was under some duress. Beads there, better safe than sorry, and he is going to be able to retreat. He might end up being sorry anyway if QvoFred comes over, but got to be mindful of that potential rotation as Lawbster does seem to be farming a tad bit better than Zyrhoes here on the Janus. Nothing really up for him, though, in the jungle.
To be expected. I mean, Janus just has a higher movement speed because of the way he moves through the portals and threshold. It gives him extra movement speed, and so he gets to camps more quickly than someone like a Raijin. But also, Zyrhoes has gone for the Soul Trap start instead of the traditional Mage's Blessing start. Could be trying to rush that Soul Reaver, as we've seen some do. HalfDevil, even unlike Funball, is in trouble.
Does have the shell available, but gets impaled by Arkkyl. A great shot.
No
the wall, though,
way.
stuns him, and now Trix could be in a little bit of trouble himself. There's no tower shot on. Funballer can't find the kill, but HalfDevil, no way, he should be alive. Dive bomb and aggressive. No Ricochet to follow that up. Now he gets impaled, creates the space to retreat through space and time. Almost had a double kill, but just barely misses.
What a roller coaster of emotions that was on both sides. First, HalfDevil's dead to rights, but his shell saves his life and is just able to escape. Then Funball nearly finds the kill into Trix, switches targets to Arkkyl through space and time, grazes the hair off the dual lane, and so did the Ricochet from Funball. All that being said, still 0-0.
And really, SK Gaming are fortunate. HalfDevil should be dead.
Yes.
By the way, he should be dead. So, I mean, even though they didn't get those 2 return kills, I think they're okay that HalfDevil's at least still alive and they can give that kill credit over to the duo of Team Dignitas. Instead, they're going to head back on relatively even ground. In fact, Funballer already has the ultimate. He doesn't have the beads, but that ultimate's a pretty big area by itself and could certainly set up a kill potential.
Very, very easily, but he does heavily rely on his purification beads because as good of an ultimate as Sunbreaker is, doesn't provide any CC immunity to you. So Funball needs that CC immunity that Beads gives him. He just got that back. Arkkyl's advantage on the Anhur is that his ultimate doesn't cover nearly as much ground, but it does give him CC immunity, and it's a very low cooldown. So you've got your advantages and disadvantages, of course, but I think Arkkyl's likely a little bit happier to hit level 5 than Funball is.
HalfDevil, got to be a little bit careful. Trix is right there with him and has the pluck, but he's heading back towards friendlier teammates with Faeles right here. Trixtank is the one that could suddenly find himself in a bad spot. But he's been playing aggressive this game and last game. He does not seem that worried walking in. And we talked about this before on Sobek, you kind of got to play that way.
You have to. If you're playing conservatively of Sobek, you're probably doing something wrong, at least in support. In Guardia, in the solo lane, yeah, you're going to get beat up, so you got to play kind of soft as Faeles plucked back in immediately. Double ultimates from Zyrhoes and Qvo and First Blood by Dignitas, and SK kind of feeling like they don't know what just happened.
Yeah, drums and bongos and totems, it was just too much. I mean, what was Qvo supposed to do there, or rather, Faeles supposed to do there, is he gets plucked right back into a bad situation. Had the beads available, but looks like he might have been a little late on them. I didn't see exactly when he used them. It did not save his life, though, as Faeles had some on that respawn timer.
Used them in response to the Fear No Evil, I believe, but by that time he was too deep in enemy territory and couldn't afford to get out of there. Lawbster couldn't save him with the through space and time, and most importantly, HalfDevil could barely affect that fight because he was only level 4 at the time, was sitting before he had access to the whole reason you picked Terra, which is that ultimate. And so now that's a great team fight for Dignitas. That's just good level recognition that they have an inherent advantage at that spot when their support has an ultimate and the other teams did not.
Really, just a nice pluck from Trixtank. I mean, Faeles perhaps didn't think there was going to be that much trouble. I mean, it could have been before he actually got pulled back by it on that initial hit from, but either way, ends up, falling in that jungle corridor. And this is kind of the opposite of what ended up happening last game. Faeles got off to a nice start in that first game. He wasn't getting the kill credit. He was working with HalfDevil very well, but even with that early lead, they fell behind when it started being the group stage, those team fights, the mid game. This time, SK Gaming have a chance to walk into those behind, and they already have been shown by this Dignitas squad that they're not quite as good in that mid game. They need to find a way to regroup.
They do, but that's this is kind of the opposite end of the coin now, where can SK regroup? Can they be the ones to get themselves back into it mentally and find the right fights at any given opportunity? And now that HalfDevil is sitting at level 5, they've got a much better chance of doing just that. Earth and Fury will make up a lot of ground in terms of team fights. It'll get you back in team fights that you probably have no business winning sometimes.
That's right. I don't think we have that many bad gods in the game. I think we have some gods where it's a little bit easier to make mistakes, and Terra kind of covers over a lot of those with that Earth and Fury, right? So Fear No Evil going to be dropped down, Faeles in a lot of trouble again. The ultimate is dropped through space and time just to create an escape path, but they don't even need it. QvoFred ends up falling. Now Faeles trying to hunt down Trixtank. They cannot catch out the Croc, so instead they're going to turn towards Raijin. He's going to be fine too, and SK Gaming even it up 1-1.
Dignitas find a lone Faeles in the jungle without purification beads and try doing the same combo they got First Blood with, but Didn't factor in that they didn't have the mage damage. Last time it was Zyrhoes' ultimate that got the first blood. This time, without his damage, Faeles able to turn it around nicely. And I love the ambiguity with which Faeles moved in that situation. Doesn't commit to the portal, doesn't commit to backing up. It's just kind of in no man's land. It is okay with that. And that's something that's really hard to play around. Someone who's comfortable being in those awkward positions. You can put yourself in weird spots, and it's hard to read exactly where you're going. And I think Dignitas got a little bit lost on where to expect Faeles was going to take his next step.
But that's exactly what we were asking for from SK, right? How do they respond when they get smacked in the mouth? Well, that's how they find a pick themselves. Now, what does Dignitas do? Even though they lost a kill, they're the ones grabbing the oracles. They're the ones looking for camps. It's how they often find themselves a little bit ahead of their opponents. So SK have to make both steps. They got to find a way to respond in the fights, and then afterwards on the neutral farm.
You know, it looks like they'll be able to do at least their own camp for the moment. Not a lot of neutral camps up and standing to be taken overall, but Lawbster getting a red buff at this point is going to be a big boon for him because he's sitting at level 11 already. Should be nearly done with Chronos Pendant. The fact that he's backing right now tells me he likely has Chronos Pendant finished. Indeed he does. So this is a great opportunity for Lawbster to start making an even bigger impact in these fights, which is honestly going to be kind of hard to do because he's been doing a ton of work thus far.
It's kind of been Team Dignitas forcing Lawbster to play not quite the way I think that he'd like to. He's had to use a couple ultimates trying to find escape paths for Faeles, whether he necessarily needed them or not, just to give us some options through the fights. If they can get a fight where Lawbster can be a little freer, that certainly go their way. As Arkkyl jumps in aggressively, Funballer is going to turn around and take the fight, drops down the ultimate, has to use Dive Bomb to disengage. Arkkyl seems undeterred, but maybe he should be worried. The whole rest of the team is here as QvoFred does get the gank onto Ducky, drops down the ultimate, but Lawbster right there with the unstable vortex.
Fights in opposite lanes, and both fights go the way that the team who initiated them was really hoping for. SK able to chase down Arkkyl very, very easily, lost his beads and his ultimate, whereas on the right side, Ducky falls. This time, it's not. I think I'd rather have the kill in dual lane, get Funball back into it a little bit easier than that solo.
Faeles looking for the execute, finds it on the Trixtank, even with Zyrhoes right there. And the Tycho drums gets the reset and the double kill. Faeles has shown up to play here in game 2. Zyrhoes, take a seat, my man.
That's beautiful right there between Faeles and Lawbster. Faeles is out of there until Lob tells him, go back in, Poppy, I got damage for you. That's exactly what Faeles does. Beautiful double kill in between tier 1 and tier 2 tower. And now this should be an easy Gold Fury for SK. Looks like Qvo's going to the opposite side, heading towards Pyromancer instead of trying to contest Gold Fury.
And that should even the game up very nicely, as Dignitas did have a bit of a lead for themselves. Did a good job juggling that aggro and healing up to the Terra stone there as well. So SK doing a great job securing that for it. But I love the confidence here from Faeles. I mean, game 1, he gets off to a good start, but I mean, it has so much frustration trying to get around QvoFred and that Fear No Evil. Shaking it off, coming back in, and still looking confident here in game 2 to really dive the tier 2 and trust to be able to land his abilities underneath that tower and take down Zyrhoes.
And that's just what Achilles does best, is damage at this portion of the game in particular. Now is Faeles with just a heavy mace. He hadn't finished off that crusher quite yet. So that damage is only getting higher at this point in the game. And this is where you really want your Achilles to be making big plays, because eventually that Batz is just going to do more than the Achilles will in the later stages. Just bring more control to late game team fights, more damage with the passive, you know, getting those crits, especially with Qvo going for the Hydra's Lament, which I think is a really, really strong item on Batz that we probably don't see enough of.
Yeah.
Qvo is going to be bringing it, even starting right now, but certainly more so than the Achilles will in the late game.
Yeah, that's just innate synergy, right? His passive and that item's passive almost say the same thing, just crit rather than like bonus damage. But yeah, those are good synergies there. With
crit
QvoFred.
is bonus damage.
What are you trying to say here? That crit is the same word as bonus damage, right?
Effectively, yes.
Ducky in a little bit of trouble. Fear No Evil lands. Does have the Stygian Torment to try and get himself out of here, but he's in the 1v3 in a whole heap of trouble. Pluck back in through space and time, not there quite in time. And Faeles actually uses it aggressively, coming in to fight this 1v3 because all their ults are down. Can't find anything more. No one else came in support, and Faeles has to fall back.
Lawbster fires off that ultimate 3/4 of a second earlier. Ducky may even survive in that spot, especially if Lawbster had put it on the wall where Ducky was being CC chained against. Then you kind of get pulled through those portals pretty easily, but just a little bit late. I don't know if that's Ducky calling that he's dead no matter what. Don't worry about me. Then he survives a little bit longer than he thought he was going to, and Lawbster goes, I may as well ult in this spot, or if it just kind of caught SK off guard. But like the idea just a fraction of a second too late.
Yeah, perhaps Ducky didn't realize he was dead to rights and make the call soon enough. I mean, it's hard to know. We weren't
Yes.
there. But either way, you know, Lawbster not able to get that through space in time. They're in time. Instead, they're going to be here for the red buff invade, actually, with a lot of these ultimates down. Faeles is the one that's going in aggressive. Fatal Strike defensive, but doesn't come out in time. Desert Fury from Arkkyl finds the kill. Now, Funballer in trouble, drops the ult, but sets up a double kill for Arkkyl on the Anhur. Team Dignitas defend the buff and find the kills.
Man, this Sobek pick for Trixtank has been such a nightmare for SK to deal with in games 1 and 2. There, Funball hits the boost speeds and dies before they ever really matter for him. That was rough.
Ends up falling. Ducky and the rest of SK Gaming are grouped in the middle lane. Variety's Whirlwind of Rage and Steel is going to be down. Couldn't quite find what he was looking for there. Perhaps might have been trying to blink, but was put in combat. Either way, not going to find it. They're going to posture around this mid lane, though, where SK have a bit of a grouping for themselves. Fear No Evil available. This could be a good fight for Dig.
Trix has his ultimate, though, and so it'll be difficult to really lock him down easily, even with the Terra there, as Lawbster provides a portal for Ducky just in case, but it looks like Tier 1 tower in solo lane is going to go down to the pressure from QvoFred. Variety just playing bodyguard right now for his jungler, not letting Ducky over to save his tower.
Rotation coming in from SK. They want to respond. Trixtank is, again, very deep in the jungle, just doing camps by himself. But, I mean, who's really there to punish as Faeles goes aggressive. Looks like he used beads there so he could fight through the Tycho drums and finds the kill on the Zyrhoes underneath the Tier 1 tower. Faeles has been playing very aggressive.
He really has, and that's what you have to do with this Achilles pick. Kind of like the Sobek pick, right? You have to play aggressive. You have to be disruptive as early and as often as possible. And Faeles with another nice kill there. Now, it cost him both his relics, beads and blink, for Zyrhoes to fall without having to use a relic in and of his own right. So that's really not. It's another kill that Zero just kind of goes, okay, that's annoying, but it doesn't really hurt me that much.
Continued aggression in the jungle doesn't quite hit home. The ultimate is down from Arkkyl. Funballer still has his if he can find the setup, but Arkyl's just finding the shots and wants to dive underneath the tower, impale a little bit off the mark, and Funballer, even though he's low, has all the mana, has all the opportunity, and has the support. Faeles is here, but no blink. Can he close the distance? I don't quite think so. He does have speed buff. If he can get the reset and the dash, now he's here, but the jump comes back up. He doesn't have the stun, but does have the ultimate, which gets Aegis. Faeles can't find it, but the ricochet from Funballer from downtown.
That's how you draw it up right there. Nice and easy for SK.
If you say so.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly as they were planning. HalfDevil blocks Trixtank, but also blocks Funball, then repays the favor by rooting Trixtank in place. Arkkyl again gets baited for being too aggressive on that left side. That's becoming a trend now for Dignitas' Hunter, and SK has identified that nicely. That to me is Funball watching some tape and telling Faeles, yo dude, this guy's gonna fight me, and he's gonna dive me, and I can get myself low through whatever means necessary and bait him in and get free kills for us in the duo lane. That's 2 games in a row now where it's worked.
Does get punished that time, but still, it feels as if the wind is blowing in Dignitas' favor. A little bit of the kill lead going SK's way, but I mean, take a look at the gold charts. That's still going in favor of Team Dignitas, about 2,000 gold, and a rather significant amount of experience, 4,000 there as well. SK Gaming, yet again, have the kills, they have the small skirmishes, but not the actual gold or experience lead.
Zyrhoes takes a big chunk. Lawbster tried to wind up that through space in time and just totally whiffed because the Aegis coming out from Zyrhoes was good. HalfDevil getting crit and crushed by Quvo, but Arkkyl handled Lawbster on the backside.
Faeles now stuck in that lurking in the waters from Trixtank, who's trying to hunt him down. Does have the blink, but Variety with the counter blink knocks him up and brings him down. Faeles in a heap of trouble. Whirlwind of Rage and Steel sends it right back towards Zyrhoes, and Thunder Crash is all he needs to finish that off. HalfDevil does not get plucked back in, so he's looking for the escape, but Furious Roar is here. But Ducky is coming in to help.
Ducky doing his best at this point, but having lost their mid and jungle, it'll be difficult for SK to find this fight going their way at all. Funball has to dash underneath this tier 2, but Ducky's still in a bit of trouble here.
The pluck does bring him right back into the damage from Zyrhoes. The walls are there from HalfDevil to try and deter any more aggression. Team Dignitas now looking for the purple buff. And this is Dignitas recognize that the damage is mostly gone. They can play aggressive as Arkkyl comes over to grab the Pyromancer all the way on the solo side of the map and add that objective to the team.
I like the idea there between Lawbster and HalfDevil to try and catch out Zyrhoes, but Zyrhoes had ult, Zyrhoes had relics. Like that's just not a realistic kill opportunity for SK on that top left side. When you invest that much without getting a kill, you're putting yourself in a deep hole as is, but Lawbster's putting himself out of position, trying to reposition didn't seem to have the portal available to get out of there easily. Look, Dash, think of it this way. Using Athena Taunt into Kraken is a great combo that'll kill just about anybody. At this level, if they have beads and Aegis, that's not going to kill anyone. You have to be able to you have to be prepared to play around what your opponents are going to do. And it looked like SK just made their own plan but didn't factor in what Dignitas' response would be.
Whirlwind of Raging Steel is countered by the Stygian Torment. Tycho jumps some Zyrhoes, is not better than Lawbster's damage on Variety. QvoFred, though, does have Funballer in his sights and brings him down with the big boy damage. Now has to leave his Lawbster. He's running away on the backside. QvoFred looking for HalfDevil with the jump into the slow. Now Arkkyl's here with the jump into the Desert Fury, and that's enough. Qvo gets the last hit, and HalfDevil has to take a seat. That's a 2-for-1 trade in Dig's favor.
Blink
and the
forward.
blink to
the
the
crit! 600! From QvoFred. You were mentioning a big XP lead earlier, Finch. Could you tell me if it's between Qvo and Faeles, perchance? Because that's a level 20 Hun Batz, and Faeles is...
He's not level 20.
Not level 20, yes.
Dignitas destroy the Gold Fury, and that means Faeles is in trouble. He's even further now from level 20, if that's how numbers work. Ducky has to blink away from Arkkyl and Trixtank, but Dignitas are starting to get away with this one, man. They are just forcing these fights. They're controlling them very, very well. QvoFred making highlight reel plays with the blink and a little bit of RNG on his side, too. 4-for-1. SK Gaming might be meeting their match.
And I love what Qvo does in the build. He gets the Hydras, and he's like, okay, I probably need Crusher, some sort of penetration on it, maybe a Titan's Bane. And then he backs a base and presses tab and is like, yo, I'm kind of a beast. Like, I don't know. I've got a ton of gold here. Why don't I just mess around? Y'all mind if I mess around and just buy Deathbringer? And he does, and it pays off huge in that team fight. I mean, he crushes Funball off Fear No Evil. He obliterates Lawbster. He annihilates the rest of the team. And it's because of those crits coming out that are boosted by Hydras, because that's what bonus damage does for you. Love it that Qvo just adjusts the build on the fly.
HalfDevil's in trouble through space and time, just barely doesn't hit home, but it does create an escape path for the support. Ducky gets thrown back into the Tycho drums, but he's able to make it out just barely too. Now Faeles is the target. He has Fatal Strike, but there's just too many members around. Where can he run? The actual pillar separates him, but they find the kill anyway. Ducky falls as well. Now HalfDevil has to retreat. Team Dignitas yet again come out ahead 2-for-0.
Yeah, right now, the only difference it feels like in these team fights is just QvoFred over Faeles, doesn't it? I mean, it's just that Qvo is doing everything, and Faeles is not able to do a whole lot in response. 5-1-5 for the jungler for Team Dignitas, and take a look at the player damage charts.
It's
absurd. You got one all the way up top, and you got one near the middle. Faeles done some respectable damage, but he's still only level 14, by the way.
There's a couple items in the history of Smite that if you back and you have enough money for them, you just kind of auto-buy. Old Rod of Tahuti was one of those things, right? Where you're like, if I just have enough, I'm getting it. Deathbringer is also in that conversation. Maybe not as much now, but Qvo had it. He's ahead. He's like, let's grab it. Came up big for him here in this game and able to cause even further problems for this SK squad. Now they got Fire Giant, a tier 2 tower in right, and no way for SK to defend.
It just feels like Qvo was, the game plan was, all right, let's just group up, we'll team fight, blah, 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 we'll play Smite, we'll do it the right way. And then Qvo was like, yo, I feel like I could just win this game for us. So you guys mind if I just crit the support for 580 at
twice
22 minutes? Like, is that cool with everyone? It's like when LeBron is like, yeah, I'm going to pass to my teammates, and then realizes that he doesn't really have to anymore because he's just like in the zone right now. That's it right now. And not to say that Zyrhoes is J.R. Smith, because that would be a huge insult to him, because he's really not.
Everybody knows that J.R. Smith is trash.
Yeah, everyone knows that, especially everyone on the casting team.
Yeah, there's no one on the casting who could possibly defend anything else.
No,
you'd be a fool to do it.
You really would be, but luckily that wouldn't happen on any of the casting team.
Not at all. It's also starting to look like there's not really a way for SK to slow down this push from Dig. Tier 1 tower in left is crumbling down. They grab the Tier 2 tower if they want as well. They got plenty more time on this Fire Giant, Ryan. 2 minutes, 45 seconds to use another minute before the actual buff respawns. And SK Gaming, I think this time the read is correct that they had to fall back and defend on Fiend because they cannot fight on these tier 2s.
No, certainly not. I mean, you're looking for really important items now. Funball is working towards his chin size. Lawbster, just finished off that Soul Reaver, and that is big. Does give SK Gaming an out. It gives them an opportunity where if Lawbster closes his eyes and prays real hard and is able to one-shot QvoFred in these team fights with Through Space and Time, SK's got a shot, and besides that, it's going to be difficult. But at least they have that opportunity now.
They do. They have a, you know, something they can try and play towards. As Zyrhoes, on the other hand, has been trying to blow people up in one shot all game long. Soul Reaver, Soul Gem, now going to add the Ethereal Staff to that. The old proc build where that first hit probably going to kill you. Which one is he trying to hit that first one with? The first strike of the Taiko drum is what he's trying to get with, or percussive storm?
Yeah, you're trying to proc Raiju first, because it's the way Soul Gem works is you get the additional damage throughout the lifetime of the ability.
Right.
And so because Raiju will last so long and deal so many small instances of damage, that extra percent scaling that you get on it is best when utilized with the Raiju or with the Taiko drums.
That's what I was asking. I knew there was something cool to that one because we got a lot of ticks going through with Raijin. I like that. Okay.
What if it was Soul Staff instead of Ethereal Staff? Because you got like Soul Reaver, Soul Gem, and then Soul Staff. That would be like the Soul build.
Oh, like it should be. We should
But don't
rename
build it on Soul.
No, you want to build this on someone like Zyrhoes who can punch the doors open. HalfDevil in a little bit of trouble. Already at half health. Has to fall back as Dignitas are very slowly whittling through this door. And there's that big win condition we're talking about. The ultimate from Lawbster not really hitting home. And now they barely have a chance trying to defend this Phoenix. In fact, they're just going to fall right back and give this one up. Dignitas can kind of just take it.
Easy peasy for Dignitas on the left-hand side. Now they can do more in mid and right. And it is not an accident that all the minion waves are pushed to where Dignitas can walk right in with each Phoenix at the same time.
Ducky, Stygian Torment, doesn't really strike home. They're going to throw him back into the Fear No Evil. QvoFred, of course, finds a kill. Arkkyl takes down Ducky. That means there's not a whole lot of control left for this SK Gaming roster as Faeles, Funballer, and Lawbster going to try and find a way to defend this Phoenix. Team Dignitas have a few more seconds on this Fire Giant buff if they feel like they need it.
Zyrhoes Snoopy that Janus too. Just snuck right between them. He did it again!
Zyrhoes knows what he's doing, man.
He's the European Snoopy. That's it.
Put him on Hou-Yi and see if we can find all those hot ricochets too.
I've seen enough. I declare it.
They don't have the Fire Giant buff for this, but they don't need it. Variety blinks in on the Lawbster, forces through space and time. That does go through the fight, but doesn't really hit home, so Team Dignitas can come through and keep surging. It looks like this is enough to force them back. Arkkyl wants to keep looking for shots, but the rest of Dig are leaving. They can't get the mid-Phoenix, but they kind of got everything else. All the Tier 2 towers, Phoenix on the left-hand side, tons of kills. Dig are happy to back up there.
Sure, it's not a huge loss they don't get mid-Phoenix here because Pyromancer and Fire Giant is perfect timing. They'll get back right as FG spawns, basically. And they've got some gold they'd like to spend. Not everyone full build, not everyone 6, 1, and 7 like young man QvoFred, so you gotta get your gold elsewhere and be able to spend it now that you've got it if you're Team Dignitas. Mid-Phoenix just a little bit too difficult because Dig's critical members didn't have relics. There wasn't a blink for QvoFred, no beads for Zyrhoes or for Arkkyl. Variety didn't have his blink, and a lot of ultimates being down all kind of equate to Dignitas not being able to just go in with reckless abandon and find a Phoenix for free.
QvoFred, there is a downside to this. Like, now we know the optimal path is to be level 20 at 16 minutes. You got to do that every game now, or he's playing suboptimally. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
He's
proven he could do it, so now it's a disappointment if he doesn't.
That's true. That's how it works, right?
No, but you can say that if you want. Like, you're allowed. That is your First Amendment right. You know?
Oh, no. Please don't trigger me here on stream.
Finch, that was your bit that I'm using against you.
Yeah, that's that is it. That's the definition of triggering me. It's happening anyway. All right.
Finch, I'd have to try not to trigger you. I think
true.
it's much harder to keep you, calm in these situations than
I'm not a calm person.
Than triggering
That's not my thing.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a calm person.
That's fair.
I like you just the way you are, Finch.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Phoenix on the right-hand side being looked at. Dignitas just about ready to bring this one to its conclusion. Or maybe not. SK certainly have the chance to make a defense happen. HalfDevil, though, dashes in and meets a whole lot of damage. Taiko drums coming out. Can't strike home. He switches over to Ducky instead, who has to try and find his way out of there. Variety's very low. Funballer does get him with the Suns, but Arkkyl takes down Ducky solo for solo. And QvoFred comes in with the Fear No Evil he's been holding this whole time. HalfDevil low, and he's hunting down Lawbster. Overhand smash more than enough.
Unstoppable is the right word. Gets the kill and then turns around and throws a little 700 damage crit. Fun balls away. Fails slowed because that unactivated Raiju. It does slow you even when not popped. It increases the slow once detonated, but still a pretty good ability in its own right. Right side Phoenix falls. And Variety is dead for the moment, but can easily teleport in 25 seconds. Has that TP up and ready. for when he respawns. Doesn't have it upgraded quite yet, but I imagine if necessary, he could sell that power potion and upgrade it and get into this fight.
And that time, HalfDevil and Ducky did a much better job kind of baiting the abilities. They were getting focused a lot. It's just unfortunate the lead is so great for Dignitas, they can afford to overcommit and then still kill the carries when the time calls.
Pretty much. That's this is what being behind feels like, where you make good plays and don't get rewarded for it. That's what being behind is kind of all about.
Dignitas now do have Variety rejoining them with that blink back in. Lawbster just a few seconds away from joining up with the rest of the squad. They do have good clear on these minions, making it harder for Dig to come in unless they want to actually tank the Phoenix shots, and Phoenix on the left-hand side's back up, but minions might be enough. Ducky goes in with the Stygian Torment, but everyone is CC immune. Ducky thrown right back to the wolves. He has to jump away to stay alive. Lawbster can't hit home through space and time, and in fact, he's forced to retreat as Zyrhoes takes down Funballer.
Whoa, where did Funball go? He was there a moment ago. Lawbster trying to get away, has a portal, and escapes through it narrowly, and actually right on time to defend that left Phoenix from going down as soon as it spawns. Well, just Caster's Curse and Objective. That's potentially a new one.
Gotta learn to control it, Ryan, as Dignitas trying to control this fight. Trixtank does have to fall back. Soul Gem proc has been used from Zyrhoes, so he teaches a lesson in SK Gaming and forces them back. They're fighting hard on this mid-Phoenix, but only for so long can they keep it standing. Team Dignitas now have taken down all 3 Phoenixes, all the towers, only the Titan still standing to try and keep SK Gaming in this one.
I like that little dance between Quvo and Lawbster. Quvo blinks forward, is looking to throw the monkey onto Lawbster and make sure that he could follow him through whatever portal, but Lawbster plays a little bit of ring around the rosy, around the little fountain, near his fountain, and is able to survive because of it. Dignitas just playing a little bit safe. Again, they don't go for the end of there because they're missing key ultimates and Tycho drums and Desert's Fury and lurking in the waters. Arkkyl has no relics and no ultimates, so he's incredibly vulnerable. No beads for Zyrhoes. That's the right call. You've got 3 Phoenixes down. You've got the game in your hands. Just back it up. Take a breath, get your power potions, upgrade the relics if they're available, and then push for the victory with multiple waves of fire creeps.
Yeah, go back and grab Odysseus' bow. Grab Midgardian Mail for Trixtank. Those are not bad items to go back and add to your siege potential. Have those charged shots from Arkkyl going through the whole team fight. Plenty of extra attack speed to help him shred through with this Executioner Crusher build that he's gone with along with the concise. Everyone here, it feels like, on Dignitas have played so well, but yet again, a lights-out game from QvoFred. Top of the player damage charts. Level 20 before the 20-minute mark. Just kind of getting it all done for this squad. They're going to come back, maybe look for Fire Giant again, but they don't even really need to wait. They can go in as soon as they're ready.
He's got a 3K pot at 31 minutes. That's
Ew.
gross. Make no mistake about it. Dignitas played well, but this has been the Quvo show, for sure. By the way, Quvo should have a show called the Quvo Show that he should like stream or something like that. That would be good. I would watch
it would
that.
just be like him playing Smite. I was wondering, like, would it be like a sitcom?
No,
or
I'm
like
thinking like him and Trix just like doing stuff. Like going to the mall.
Like Quvo and Trix go to the dentist.
I'd watch that, yeah.
Okay.
I totally would. Those are funny dudes.
Trix is pretty funny, yeah. Quvo's funny. I agree. I'm
Yeah.
with you on that.
I'd watch those guys like
Quvo after dentist. Yeah.
eat a ham sandwich. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it'd get good ratings.
I might
Quvo
watch
show-
them shop for a ham sandwich. So the 2 of us equals good ratings?
It's not. Hey, I've only asked 2 people, me and you,
100%.
and we're 100% thus far.
There you go.
Could be worse.
You can say that. That is your right.
My First Amendment right.
That's true.
Can't oppress my freedom of speech, Vince, no matter how hard you try.
I literally can't, by the way.
I know
I'm
you-
incapable.
I know you.
That's not
I know
how it
you.
works.
Thank you.
Lawbster has to use through space and time. So we'll not have that available to him as Team Dignitas want to come grab this weakened Phoenix on the right-hand side. Not weaken the player, he's in an A. I mean, this Phoenix, not as strong as it used to be. And Team Dignitas certainly are ready to bring that down. Going to keep the fire minions in mid pushed up as well before they come finish this one off against SK.
Who will be right, left, middle in the respawn order of these Phoenixes, but Dignitas likely would like to ignore a left and mid if things go ideally on this right side Phoenix.
Ideally, though, Dignitas to get this started right about now. Trixtank plucking in, gets the tail whip off. He does get stunned in response, but Earth and Fury comes out, hits just about everybody from HalfDevil. Tycho drums now coming up from Zyrhoes, doesn't quite hit home, but they opened up enough space to find that right side Phoenix. Now the minions are pouring in from every conceivable side. SK Gaming got to feel the weight of the world on their shoulders as Team Dignitas are ready to collapse. Fire minions in mid, right, and left. Titan swinging away with the giant sword. Team Dignitas, any moment now, will go in for the end.
Damage onto Ducky. Trixtank gonna miss the pluck once more. Dignitas backs up. Nice through space in time from Lawbster. Hits Arkkyl and Trix. Bringing him nice and low, but not low enough to stop Dignitas from playing aggressive. This Titan already down to nearly half health.
Minions doing a ton of work, and SK Gaming can't go out and defend. They have to come back and defend the Titan. They're going to ignore, it looks like, the Phoenix on the left-hand side. Go ahead and bring that one down. Titan now down to half HP. Dignitas are finally going to come barreling into the Titan room now. SK Gaming valiantly fought back, but it just was not enough. Team Dignitas take game 2. They take the set 2-0, and they look pretty good doing it.
And SK Gaming, this isn't the result they wanted, of course, but I feel like they should come away that feeling okay. About as okay as you can feel from getting 2-0'd, specifically in Game 1. I think they did a lot of stuff well in Game 1.
Right.
Dignitas is just the better team right now, and I think they proved that.
They're better than a lot of people.
They're better than a lot of
That's
people.
true.
The SK is not alone in that regard of being a worse team than Team Dignitas. Also, you are not alone if you are worse at Smite than QvoFred, because
that's a really short list of people better at Smite than QvoFred. That's a really, really short list.
It really is, and right now, no one on SK is on that list, and I don't think anyone on Dignitas is necessarily on that list either, it feels like, because Qvo, just specifically in Game 2 at least,
yes,
was the end-all be-all. It was close, it was kind of back and forth, SK was doing stuff, Dig was doing stuff, and then QvoFred hit 20, while Faeles was 14. That was a Deathbringer. Like that was just, it was too much for SK to handle.
They asked me to talk to you about the MVP poll. I almost called it the QvoFred poll because it is the QvoFred poll. Why would we vote anything else? Don't put any other options in it. Vote QvoFred. He was the MVP that game. Thank you.
Maybe just do a poll about if you'd watch the Qvo show.
Yeah, let's do that instead because that's more up. I don't know. That's not very up in the air either.
No, it isn't. But I just want to get validated more than anything else.
That's really more for you. Ask, what was your favorite part of QvoFred's MVP performance that game?
I think it was the double 600 crits and whenever he killed Lawbster by blinking forward and critting him once.
And deleting him.
Yeah, that was neat.
Well, that is actually going to do it here, at least for this set. Dignitas come out with the 2-0. That's going to break it down. And we got even more Smite action coming with you, so stick around through all of it.
He did it. That's my official analysis for QvoFred in game number 2. Sometimes these games just do get dominated, and I think that's what we saw over here. What was it? Over 7 kills, very few deaths for the jungler. Look at it right there, 7, 1, and 10.
He did a lot of damage. Did a lot of damage that game, but not more than the Zyrhoes, who still doesn't get his time in the sun, unfortunately. Did a good job with the Janus last game, a great job with the Raijin, setting up a decent amount of kills, and I think more attention definitely should be on QvoFred, the way he controls the pacing of the game, because despite how much work that Zyrhoes did quietly with the Janus in game number 1, Qvo was making just as much noise, if not more, especially in game number 2. It was so chaotic in these teamfights because of the Batz.
He was just able to control nearly everything. That's going to be the most valuable player of the game as well. QvoFred just coming in the clutch and making sure that everybody knew his name. Big part was he just controlled what Faeles could do. He was one step ahead of the enemy jungler, consistently set the pace of the game, consistently making moves like this, and that consistency is what allowed Dignitas to take the victory.
It's all about his positioning. He found so many flanking opportunities, doing a good job defensively, avoiding a lot of these abilities from the Stygian Torment. QvoFred, just a lights-out performance with a 12.0 KDA.
Yeah, just clean. It's the most impressive performances that leave an analyst with little work to do, because they sit here, we sit here, and there is nothing to really break down because you guys saw it. You guys watched QvoFred crit people in the face with that Deathbringer build. You watched QvoFred drop the Fear No Evil, and when we're just able to sit back and enjoy the ride, that's kind of the best Smite around, because you go and it's I call it the slam dunk effect. You don't have to understand the game to understand that Qvo did Qvo today.
That's true, but it was a lot of his patience that allowed his success to pop off because, yes, he does the damage, but because he avoids a lot of the CC and disruption from the opposing team, he's able to get off that damage. That overhand smash takes a little bit of time to confirm, so as long as you avoid the Terra stun, the Stygian Torment knockup, then all things align for this Batz jungle.
Yeah, QvoFred just coming through in the clutch looking really strong. Later on today, Space Station Gaming will take on Splice. That's going to be an interesting one. What are you feeling there?
I think Space Station has been kind of setting the bar for North America for many, many years between these two dual lane partners. And I think Splice in their previous set showed a little bit of spiciness with Neath for Cyclone Spin, having that kind of global pressure. We'll see if they bring it out in this next set.
Don't forget, we do have our commentators do their weekly predictions every Monday on Esports Weekly, 10 in the morning, nice and early. Really fun to go ahead and take care of that one. Definitely want to tune in. Never want to miss this. We have a lot of fun, some serious, some jokes, and even some totally occasionally. So certainly something you want to tune in for every Monday, 10 a.m. Coming up next, Space Station Gaming versus Splice. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more SPL.